What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and Britney Spears' new book releases in about a month. And usually right now, under normal circumstances, we would be seeing a promotional press tour for this book. You know, when someone releases a new novel or a celeb releases a new memoir, they basically go on tour before and during its initial release to promote the book. They'll pop up on like The View, The Today Show, random morning talk shows. They'll pop up on like Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, random night talk shows. They'll be on the news. They'll do random podcasts, all to promote their new book. But we're definitely not going to see that from Britney Spears. Now, her diehard fans will claim that Britney needs no promo, but in my opinion, I think that the reality is that Britney Spears is totally incapable of promoting her new book. I do not think that Britney Spears is capable of sitting still for 15 or 20 minutes while she's awake. I do not think that Britney Spears is capable of sitting down and answering questions. This woman cannot even post a coherent Instagram caption when she has all the time in the world to sit down and type and think about what she's going to say. So I highly doubt that she would be able to answer questions on the fly. I do not think that she is mentally capable of doing so. And I already know how the Britney Spears people and how some of these mainstream media outlets are going to try to frame this situation. They'll claim that it's empowering. It's so empowering that Britney Spears is not mentally capable of promoting her new book. They'll say things like, Britney's finally free. Britney's a grown woman. She can make her own decisions. If she chooses not to promote the book, then good for her. But really think about it. If you don't want to promote the book, then why would you write it in the first place? Even though we know that Britney Spears never really wrote this book. Same thing goes with the two songs that she has released. The one with will.i.am and the one with Elton John. She acted as if she didn't want anything to do with those songs. She didn't promote them basically at all. I mean, on the day that Hold Me Closer released, she posted naked photos on Instagram, so I guess that was promotion, but basically, she just continued to twirl around in circles. And it really makes me question, how involved is Britney Spears? It makes me question, is Britney Spears really involved in these projects? And how involved is she? I don't believe for 1 second that Britney recorded new lyrics for either one of those songs. And the more I look at things and the more I think about it, I'm really starting to think that Britney Spears did not have much to do with this book either. I mean, she rarely mentions it, and the other day, there was a post on her Instagram that you could tell that Britney didn't type, talking about how she's putting the final touches on her book, and you see a video of her book being printed. And I thought that was funny because, I mean, if you have common sense, you know that she's lying. You're not putting finishing touches on a book as a book is being printed. You don't print off 50,000 copies of your book and then put some final touches on it. The final touches had to have been done long ago. Yet on Instagram, they're framing things like, oh, Britney just put new touches on the book. She just had to put something new in the book. Meanwhile, you see the book printing in the background of the video. So you're sitting here like, I mean, at least if you know how these things work, you know that that's just bogus BS. But like I said, I don't think that Britney Spears is capable of sitting still. I don't think she's capable of answering questions. I think that if someone managed to get Britney Spears in a room for a little bit to interview her, I think that this whole house of cards, if you will, would come crumbling down. It will come crumbling down. Because let's be honest here. Britney Spears and her mental health situation, it's like Hollywood's worst kept secret. Anyone outside of her fan base, even a lot of people in her fan base, we can all see that something's wrong. And I believe that her whole team knows. They know that if Britney were to sit down for 10 or 15 minutes for an interview, everything would be exposed. You would be able to see firsthand how bad off Britney really is. But make no mistake about it. Her team knows this, and they know this very well. That's why reports are starting to float around that Britney's team is forbidding her. They have forbidden her from doing questions or answering questions about this book. They are not letting her do a press tour. It's not that, Britney doesn't want to do it, which I do believe that, but her own team, the team that should be trying to get Britney together in time for this book, the team that should be, putting together a press tour, this team is doing whatever they can to keep Britney out of the limelight until this book releases. They don't want any parts of a press tour. Now think about that. Usually, regardless of what Britney wants or not, the team usually would want you to do whatever can get you the most publicity, the most clout, what will bring more eyes to your book, what will sell more copies. The logical thing to always do is to do a promotional tour. You want to promote your products. I could release a product tomorrow. If I don't tell anyone, it's not going to sell as well as if I got here on YouTube and told you all to buy it, right? Same goes with Britney Spears. But they know damn good and well that this whole charade, whatever you want to call whatever this has been, since this woman got out of the conservatorship, this whole entire shit show would probably come to an end really quickly if the world got to see the reality of Britney's mental state. But they're desperately trying to not allow people to see that. That's why this woman is locked up in her house 24/7. This woman's locked up in her house, twirling around 24/7. And I'm going to be honest with you all. I really don't think that Britney had that much to do with this book. I know everyone thinks that Britney wrote it herself. She did not. Not even close. A lot of people probably think that Britney Spears is sitting in a chair, spilling her heart out, and a writer's right there writing everything she says. I don't think that's true either. I think a lot of people are going to be completely disappointed by this book, because I think this book is less of a memoir and more of some random dude sat down and wrote about random things that happened to Britney Spears in her life throughout her career. You're going to see a lot of talks about her relationships with Justin Timberlake. You're going to hear about past performances. And by the time you're done reading the book, you're going to realize, hey, I just read a bunch of stuff that I already knew. And the real meat and potatoes, the real juicy stuff that I came here for is not included in the book, because it just so happens that all of this juicy stuff that I thought happened in Britney's life really never did. Because this whole conservatorship and the events that took place during the conservatorship have been heavily exaggerated. And if you follow Britney, you know that. Britney's main complaints about the conservatorship have been that her limousine wouldn't be waiting outside of her private jet, and that her backup dancers sometimes looked better than her. Why couldn't she have fat backup dancers like Christina Aguilera Those are the things that really concerned Britney throughout her life. All of this, nonsense that y'all heard from the Free Britney movement, it's just that. It's nonsense, which is why most of these people hardly even talk about Britney Spears anymore, because once she got freed, if you will, she started acting crazy, and these people didn't want to be attached to it. And when they do talk about it, you can tell that they're just saying bogus nonsense in order to kiss up to Britney's fan base, because they can't deal with the type of backlash that I deal with on a daily basis from these crazed individuals. But if you've been invested in this whole Britney Spears fiasco and all of this nonsense surrounding it, pay close attention over the next month, because times like this are very telling. Times like this should show you the reality that we're dealing with, and that reality is that Britney Spears is definitely not all the way there. And I think that Britney's team, I think they're doing whatever they can to basically hide Britney. They're trying to hide Britney because they don't want the general public to know how bad off she is. Now, I know that some of you all, you don't really critically think about things. So some people will say, Britney's not doing press because she doesn't want the attention. Britney doesn't want attention. If you don't want attention, don't release a book. If you don't want attention, don't post on Instagram 14 times a day showing yourself nude and things of that nature. It's clear as day that Britney Spears craves attention. Britney Spears desperately craves attention. But at the same time, Britney Spears cannot function like a normal human being. So she wants all the attention she can get without having to put her mental health issues on full display in front of other people. She has no problem putting them on full display on Instagram because it feels less personal. Yeah, 40 million people are seeing her spin around in circles and act an ass, but there's not really someone in the room with her. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, this is very telling, because all of that, she doesn't want attention, that flies right out of the window. That's like, what? Britney Spears doesn't want the attention, yet she's releasing a book. She posted 9 times on Instagram today. She deleted one post 4 times and then re-uploaded it 6 more times. I mean, come on. The woman wants attention. Yet when she should be out here going in public to get it, to promote her book, it's radio silence. Because Britney Spears can twirl around all day and take her tits out on Instagram for attention, but Britney Spears can't put together a coherent sentence during an interview. That's the reality. So I want you all to watch as her team and the people around her desperately try to hide her from reality. They're trying to hide her. They want her to shuffle in her little living room, do your little spinny circles, do whatever you can, because if you get out here and you start doing interviews and you start talking, a lot of us are going to lose our jobs, because it's obvious that everyone around Britney, they're taking advantage of her mental health situation. And everyone wanted to say, her family's taking advantage, her family's taking advantage. I'm not here to say that that's not necessarily the case. But now we have strangers taking advantage. Now we have lawyers sucking Britney dry of all of her money, knowing damn good and well that no one, not a single soul, is going to spend a single minute behind bars for the conservatorship that she was put in. But anyways, let me know your thoughts down below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next video.